All right, students, welcome to Math Teleschool Week 3. This is Miss Kendall, and I will present your math lesson on behalf of myself and Miss Cravens. We're fourth grade math teachers. We're going to focus on points, lines, line segment, and rays. Let's take a quick look at our fourth grade math standard. It's 4.G.1. Draw points, lines, line segments, rays, angles, right, acute, obtuse, and perpendicular and parallel lines. Identify these in two-dimensional figures. So in this lesson, we're going to mainly focus on points, lines, line segments, and rays. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. First, we're going to go over some important vocabulary words, and then we'll get started with our lesson. All right, let's look at points. A point is a single location in space. You can draw a dot to show a point. So as you look over here to the right, if you look in your packet, you will see this page with your vocabulary words. They have a point, and they named it point A. Line segment. A line segment is a straight row of points that start at one point and ends at another point. So this is what a line segment looks like. You have a line, and on each end of your line, you have a point, which lets you know that this line does not continue to go on and on and on. It's going to actually stop at some point. Line. A line is a straight row of points that goes on forever in both directions. So let's look at our picture to the right. You have a line, and on each end of your lines, you have an arrow. The arrow indicates that this line will go on and on and on forever in both directions. All right, let's look at ray. A ray is a straight row of points that start at one point and goes on forever in one direction. All right, let's look at our picture at a ray. It's a line. On one end, it has a point, which means it's going to stop right there. But on the other end, it has an arrow, which lets you know it's going to continue to go on and on and on forever. So if you were to flip through your packet, you'll see some different pages that you'll work on. All right, so the first page. Kent draws a shape with three sides. Use geometry words to describe each side of the shape. All right, so let's look at the bottom. Let's focus right in here in this area. Line segment. Okay, so we do know that line segment has a line and it has 2 points, 1 point on each end. So let's see if we can find a line segment in this shape right here. Nope, that's not a line segment because it has 2 arrows on the end. Let's look at this, CA. Nope, that's not a line segment because one end has a point and the other end has an arrow. Let's look at this one, AB. I think we found it. The line segment, it has a point on each end. So this is line segment AB, or you can name it line segment BA. All right, let's find the ray. Let's see if we can find the ray in this shape. We know that a ray has a point on one end and an arrow on the other end. So let's look at our shape and see if we can find that. Nope, this has 2 arrows on the end, so we know that's not it. This one has 2 points, 1 on each end, so we definitely know that's not what we're looking for. But if we look right here, this is the ray that we're looking for because it has 1 point on one end and has an arrow on the other end. So that will be ray CA, or you can name it ray AC. Now, let's look for the line. Let's look for the line in this picture. We know that a line has an arrow on each end, which means that line can continue to keep going on and on and on and on and on. So let's see if we can find a line in this shape. Let's see. Let's see. I found it. Line CB. As you can see, this line has an arrow on each end, which means it's going to continue to keep going on and on and on. All right, now let's look at our shape at the bottom. And it's basically just reiterating what we said at the top. This is our ray, and we know it's a ray because it has a point on one end and an arrow on the other end. The point indicates it's going to stop. The arrow means it's going to continue to keep going on and on and on. This is a line because it has an arrow on both ends of the line, which means it's going to continue to keep going on and on and on forever. Then we have our line segment. Of course, that means it's going to eventually stop at those points. So this line will not continue to keep going on and on. All right, let's look at the next page, and we're just going to do a couple of these. It says, name a real world example of a line segment. Let me think about it. When have I ever seen a line segment in the real world? Let me think about in my house, line segments. You know what? I know exactly what it is. The kitchen countertop. That can be considered a line segment. All right, let's look at number 3. It says when two line segments, lines or rays meet at a point, they form an angle. Name a real world example of an angle. Okay, let's think about that. When we see angles. I know exactly when we see angles, especially when we're in school and let's say we're doing a cut and paste activity. You know, I always pass out the glue sticks first. Then I say, all right, boys and girls, come get you a pair of scissors. Let's think about those scissors. When you open the scissors up, guess what? It makes angles. You can open it up to an acute angle. So that's a good example for a real world example for an angle. A pair of scissors once you open them up. All right, let's go on. Let's look at the bottom. It says, let's use what we've learned to solve the problems below. How many lines are in this shape? Let's look and see. We have, and let's go back to our vocabulary now. We already know that lines go on and on and on in both directions forever. But as we can see, these lines doesn't go on and on forever. They stopping at some point where they're connecting. So this shape has 0 lines. Okay, let's think about it. It says rays. We also know that a ray has a point on one end, and on the other end it has an arrow, which means it continues to go on and on and on. And as we can see, all of these lines are connected, so they're not going on and on. So this figure has no rays. Let's look at the bottom. It says, how many line segments are in this shape? Ooh, let's see. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this shape has 12 line segments. All right, so let's do some iRated interactive tutorial. And you guys are very familiar with this. We do it in class all the time. So let's look and see. I have a little quick game.
Which figure goes on forever in both directions?
Ooh, I already know this. Okay, so it says which figure goes on forever in both directions. We know that this line have an arrow on both ends, which means it's going to continue to keep going on and on forever. So I know that's a line. Yay!
Which figure goes on forever in only one direction?
Okay, Let's do a process of elimination. This is array. It has a point on one end, then it has an arrow on the other end, which means it's going to stop right here. But on the right side, this line is going to continue to go on and on and on forever. So I know that they're asking me to find the array. Let me think about it. I know we look at maps in social studies. I've never seen a ray on a map. I've never seen that. Never seen one of these lines on the map. Never really seen a line segment, but I have seen a point on a map. And most of the time it indicates the capital of a state. So I'm going to go ahead and choose point. Awesome.
Figure shows a straight path that starts at one point and stops at another.
All right, so we know that's a line segment. All right, so it says choose all of the lines. Let me see. We already know that lines have arrows on both ends. So let's see. We know this is not it. This is a line. This is a line. This is not a line. It's a line segment. This is a line segment. And this is array. That's array. So I think we've chose all of the lines.
Line segments.
All right, let's look at for the line segments. We already know that line segment has a point on both ends, right? So let's find the line segments. Nope, that's not it. This is one that has points on both ends. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. This is array. I'm not looking for that. This is a line segment. This is a line. So I think I've chosen all of my options that I have. Awesome.
All arrays.
Okay, so we already know that array has a point on one end and an arrow on the other end. This is not what I'm looking for. This is a line segment. This is exactly what I'm looking for. This is array. Here's another line segment. Don't want that. This is a line. This is another line. Here's array. So I've chosen two correct answers. All right, so now,
Label a line by any 2 points on the line.
oh, we're going to label some
Label a line
lines.
segment by its endpoints.
We're going to continue on with our activity. Now it's about to be your turn. This is going to be your exit ticket. I hope you enjoyed the lesson for today. I want you all to be great and